This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. More than 130 animals stolen from farmers in Salt Pond. Several livestock farmers in Salt Pond, Portmore St. Catherine, are counting their losses after thieves struck on Saturday night. One farmer, Derek Belafonte, told the news that more than 100 pigs were stolen from his property. His neighbors lost about 30 goats and 5 sheep. Mr. Belafonte said the farmers have suffered a major setback.
This set me back because now I cannot pay my staff in the Salt Pond area, and I cannot further with my farm down here because all my investment went astray. Because 7 months ago I bought almost $3.8 million worth of young pigs, and I was feeding them for the longest while. They come to perfection that they could sell now for at least $80,000 to $90,000 for one pig, and they took more than 100 and odd pig from me, including goats from my next door neighbors. They take 30 goats and 5 sheep from my next door neighbor the same Saturday night too.
Mechanic killed in moby crash. A mechanic died from injuries he sustained after his car ran under a parked flatbed trailer on Queens Drive in Montego Bay, St. James yesterday evening. The man has been identified as Ricky of a flanker address in the parish. Eyewitnesses say the trailer had no reflectors or cones to warn motorists. Taxi operators on the scene called for the authorities to install streetlights in the area that they say has become a death trap for motorists. In the Petrodram trial, Finance Ministry must approve overseas travel expenses, Permanent Secretary testifies. Coral Palmer, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology, affirmed yesterday that no public sector worker can spend the government's or taxpayers' money at will. Taking the stand in the ongoing fraud trial of former Petrodram Board Chairman Dr. Percival Baheda Singh and the former Petrodram General Manager Floyd Grandley yesterday, she said that approval for travel expenses can only be given by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, adding that all voyages had to be approved. Baheda Singh is alleged to have submitted claims amounting to US $73,620 between December 2016 and May 2018 for overseas travel he did not make, while Grandley is alleged to have aided and abetted the then chairman in that process. Baheda Singh lived in the United States, where he was a full-time employee while he was serving on the board of the state oil refinery. Palmer, who was appointed Permanent Secretary on February 14, 2019, was addressing the court during cross-examination by K.D. Knight QC, who along with Bianca Samuels is representing Grandley. Knight argued that the Finance Ministry Circular 21 defines overseas travel as traveling from Jamaica. If the circular defines overseas travel as travel from Jamaica, an officer traveling from Vancouver to Washington, D.C., that's not overseas travel, he said, adding that there would not be a distinct definition for overseas travel as opposed to any other. The court heard that the Integrity Commission had recommended that the definition be changed. Has that been done? Knight asked Palmer. I don't know, sir, she responded. Attorney at law Bertha Samuels, who along with Matthew Hyatt is representing Singh, noted that the matters at hand did not relate to when Palmer was Permanent Secretary and his client was chairman. He asked her whether different permanent secretaries had different styles and or requirements, having earlier told the lead prosecutor Caroline Hay QC that there are some procedures that apply to public servants. Were you aware that Dr. Singh resides overseas? Samuel asked. I don't know, Palmer responded. 2 exhibits which were travel itinerary on file, one outlining a trip to Chicago, were shown to Palmer. Samuels asked her about emergency spending if an official pays for their own trip. Palmer said it may occur, but even if they are eligible for refunds, reimbursement is not guaranteed if the established process is not followed. She told the lead prosecutor here that having established a need to do business overseas, the CEO of an entity must fill out a form provided by the Ministry of Finance outlining the names and roles of the persons who will be traveling, as well as the destination, purpose, cost of travel, source of funding, whether sponsored or out of taxpayers' money, duration of travel, and anticipated benefits to the country are to be provided to the Permanent Secretary of the parent ministry. Current Petrojam General Manager Winston Watson was also cross-examined on Wednesday, along with Tamara Robinson, legal officer and the corporate secretary. Palmer is to take the stand again today as the trial continues. Grandley and Bahida Singh had their bails extended until Thursday. Gas prices to hit new high. For the third consecutive week, motorists have been hit with the news of a sharp increase in prices at the pumps. A total of $4.50 will be added to a liter of 87 and 90 gasoline on Thursday. This means that gas prices have gone up by $13.50 since April 29 and more than $40 since the start of 2022. This is the highest ex-refinery cost of fuel since at least 2004. Petrojam has announced that 25 cents will be shaved off the price for diesel, ultra-low sulfur diesel and kerosene. It will cost $1.94 less for propane, while butane will decline by $2.64. No more empty promises. Minister of Finance Dr. Nigel Clark has promised that the salary scale for constables of the Jamaica Constabulary Force will be hiked following the public sector compensation review. He was speaking during his Nicodemus appearance on the second of the two-day 79th staging of the Jamaica Police Federation Conference at the Ocean Coral Spring Resort in Trelawney on Wednesday. The finance minister told the delegates that he was responding to the earnest advocacies of police federation chairs over the years. Police constables take home on average a basic pay of $800,000 yearly. Over the years, we have heard of where the constable starts. I cannot wave magic wand. However, in the review, we are seeking to address the movement in where constables start. I have heard time and time again very impassioned representation around the conference table about constables and where they start, and we are aiming a change to that, Dr. Clark stated. Meanwhile, addressing the conference virtually on Tuesday, Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang pledged that as long as he has a portfolio responsibility, the police will never be hoodwinked by empty promises again. You have been given a 6 for a 9 on many occasions. I will assure you that will not happen while I am minister, Dr. Chang stated. The security minister said in recognition of the danger associated with the work of the police, government has decided that there will be a separate pay scale for them. One of the principles we are looking at is something that the force has asked for many years. In fact, an attempt to do it in an ad hoc fashion created the problem we have today. This government has indicated we will put police on a separate pay scale, recognizing the risk of the job they do and the risk they take. It has been a source of contention for many years, Dr. Chang argued. Now, once you get on that new scale, there will be evaluation of what you get for it. And it is not a 6 for a 9 because there is a lot of mistrust. I accept that. And I have to work to overcome that, but putting the police on a separate pay scale is a crucial part of correcting the errors, and we have accepted and agreed with that as a government. Now, once you get on that pay scale, nobody should be worse off. I guarantee you that. He said the government's policy is designed to correct and fix what has been a poor scheme of compensation to all public sector officers, but to pay respect to the special nature of the work police do to protect and serve the citizens of this country. You are at risk on a regular basis. The Jamaica Defense Force is brought out periodically. Unfortunately, because of the level of violence, they are out far more often and in longer time. But the Jamaica Constabulary Force is always. It is your job, it is your role, you are on the front line 24/7 and therefore need to be treated in that manner, the security minister stated. For his part, chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, Corporal Rohan James, is insisting that only the police union which he heads will negotiate on behalf of the membership. Any negotiation will be conducted by the Jamaica Police Federation, of which we will be impacted, and we will not allow anyone to interfere with our bread and butter. We negotiate on behalf of our membership, Corporal James told the news Tuesday night. The security minister argued that in making the kind of massive re-evaluation of jobs across the public sector will certainly not only take some time, but have errors. He, however, expressed the confidence that the Ministry of Finance will take steps to correct those. Once those principles are accepted, I think you can now negotiate benefits that you like. in terms of providing a salary that is worthwhile, that is of value to the police force, is crucial, the security minister stated. He argued that the time has come to end adding fringe benefits to enhance the money that the law enforcers take home, arguing that it is a recipe for poverty in retirement. The years of giving allowances to give you some additional money in your pocket, and when the police officers retire, they retire into poverty. That's the reality of the police force. It happens to other civil servants, but in particular police officers. When they retire at the age of retirement, they have to do another work. Their pension benefits are horrible. That has to be overcome by providing a salary that when you retire, the pension is more equitable, Dr. Chang explained. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.